Okay, we're just gonna run with this right here. I'm just God, I'm embarrassed. So I went through. I was trying to go through Streamyard, and let me show you this. I was watching you guys over here. Got the camera going. Got the iPad going. Or the computers, the sound, everything, and camera set up. And I'm just. Hang if I'm not just ready to scream. Um, I hope you guys can. I hope you guys will find this, but I'm gonna wait just a few minutes while we're live here. Um, God, that just broke my heart right there. I mean, killed me, absolutely killed me. Um, so thank you. All right, Adelina's back in there. Night Ranger. Uh, oh man, you ain't gonna believe this. I'm gonna give everybody else a few minutes to figure this thing out. Um, it's just frustrating. Hmm. I mean, look at all this stuff. While you guys are coming in here, I'm gonna show you this iPad, Apple stuff. Now, this is all because of Greg Burns. All right, Greg Burns. I love that guy to death. We got to talking one day about. We got to talking about my Windows computers don't work for crap. Okay, and I've been through three or four of them. He said, "Man, once you go Mac, you won't have those problems." He said, "You'll absolutely love having a Mac." And I said, "Okay." So I went and bought me a Mac computer, MacBook Pro, and shortly after that found the tablet. And man, I could plug everything up. It would work great. I loved it. Okay. Uh, the problem with the live stream tonight on the other one was the fact that I'm out back on the back side of the house. I come out here to the camper because it's a nice, quiet. I live out in the country spot where I don't have a whole lot of craziness with audio going on and dogs barking. I got some chickens over there, but they don't bother me too much. But it's just a good place to do live streams. Not really beautiful backdrop, kind of like Fred Dunn. Now, I mean, Fred Dunn has just got, I think a beautiful, beautiful setup in a studio. But anyway, I just got the camper. So um, I got in here about 30 minutes early, pulled everything up, was setting up the stream, had this really cool opener, and I was interneting off my tablet, and literally 30 seconds before I hit go, I got an email from AT&T saying you've used up your 10 gigabytes of live of internet, blah blah blah, and I just about broke my heart because I knew just as quick as I did that it was going to be a problem. So um, anyway, I'm yeah, I'm brokenhearted. Guys, thank you for coming in. We've got 18 of you in here, and I'm just going to start from there. So we've had a few minutes to kind of let people figure it out where we were at. This was going to be my first live in sit down and talk with you guys. I've been looking forward to this, and hey, while you're there, somebody tell me if I turn this. No, it won't do it. It's currently locked for the other one. I was kind of hoping. Let's see. No, that changes the lens. No, I'm doing this through my phone. Just I hate it that it's all up and down, but I guess most people would like that because they watch videos through their phones. If you're watching this on a television, sorry, too much black on both sides of it. But I wanted to get on tonight. I wanted to do you guys a really good production just to say thank you. Thank you for 1,318 subscribers. I know a lot of you have come through from the ending of one of my or two of my last videos where I said, hey, come check out my Honey Money TV channel where we're going to follow some of the removals that I have done. Some of the hives that we've worked. We did removals last year and set them up, and you get to see the progress of that. I've never really thought that it would be that supportive on my main channel, and I have a couple of thoughts about doing some of that on my live channel, but I wanted to have a separate channel that was geared towards you guys, the beekeepers, or the people who want to learn about beekeeping, kind of getting into those things. And in doing that, I felt like if we started a second channel, I could be more me. The Yappy Bee Man channel really has just been, since it started, everything about it's pretty much been bee removal stuff. And to be able to have the freedom to kind of just come hang out with you guys here on the um, on a separate place where I can do the lives. I can walk you guys out in my yard, and I'm not worried about the production. There's there You would be amazed at how many subscribers and people that will sit there and watch you constantly, and then you throw out one video that just really doesn't have the bling bling to it, and they run. No, that's not a great supporter, and I totally agree with probably what half of you are going to say about that, 100%. But it's still, at the end of the day, the channel is something that I love to share, but it's turned into something that's also a business. So in doing that, I want to try to keep that theme of Yappy Bee Man and that channel fairly the same. So um, in regards to Honey Money, it was an opportunity to where I could give an angle with the um, different types of hives that I use. I can talk about them. I can say whether they're good or bad or ugly. You guys can follow the progress on the different things. I was really grateful last year that I did a huge, absolutely huge bee removal out from under a porch. I've talked about this before, and it was the one where it was massive beehive, 7 queens, gallons of honey, 10 pounds of bees, and we brought that colony home. We put them in a horizontal hive, gave them everything brand new, put a little bit of sugar water on them, put a little bit of pollen patty on them, turned them loose. Perfect timing, right here at the 1st of April, in that window, and flow was working, so it didn't set them back one bit to have actually put them in a new setup. But they exploded in a great way in regards to they just picked right up. They built new comb. It was 2 or 3 days later, they had 10 frames built out, and then they expanded into 18 frames. Um, I let them roll all through summer. Unbeknownst to me, they actually swarmed. I had a queen that I put in there last year, and I put a little small red dot mark on her. And when I went to go back in there this spring looking for her, which there was well before they would have even possibly swarmed, she was already gone. So that kind of broke my heart that I lost that original queen. But to see the amount of bees and everything were still in there was just blew my mind about how that hive works. So there's going to be a lot that I talk about with the horizontal beehives. The few things that I don't like about it yet, but I can personally adjust to. I've talked with Ricky Rourke at horizontalbees.com and kind of gave him a thought process and how I feel about a few of those things also. And he's the designer of, if some of those things implement great, then great. But now we took that colony and we made a split off of it, and we set it up, and we made a 5 frame, put it in a horizontal nucleus box where it's got like 6 different sections in it. I walked through that on about how my thought process was on how I built that, how many queen cells I wanted in it, and different things like that. So it was an opportunity to go from the removal to the box they grew in, to take and make a split off of them to increase my numbers and the thought process behind that. And um, that was probably 2.5 weeks ago. I haven't been back in it yet. I guarantee if I got in there now, I'd probably have swarm cells in it. But I did some manipulation on that colony also. And then my other horizontal hive, believe it or not, I did some manipulation on it, and it swarmed on me a few days ago. Now, if you saw the video that I put out right there, Friday Easter weekend, Friday evening, um, somewhere in there about 5 o'clock, I put that one up, and it was crazy because they swarmed on me. So that was Friday evening. It's now what, Tuesday? Saturday I went in it. I made some video of that, which we're hoping to put together real soon to share with you guys on this. That one thing that we don't talk a lot about in beekeeping is post swarming management on your bee colonies. Okay, so yes, the one standing on my truck again. And that was one thing that really just jumped out at me is we all have a lot. We talk a lot about making splits. Okay. Or you find queen cells. What do you do with them? And 5 out of 10 beekeepers are going to say, oh, split, split, split. I mean, look at how many numbers of beehives you can make because we got these queen cells. And one thing I was hoping that we're going to do in one of our live streams is literally talk about a post swarming management of a bee colony after you realize that they have swarmed. Okay, so if that be something that you guys would like, I definitely, just let me know in the comments on that, because uh I think it would be I would love to get a couple of different people's opinions on that, so that we just kind of say, hey, um, there's 10 different ways to do it, but and there's none of them that are any better than the others, but here's just mine. So we'll kind of go from there. I um I ended up going through the colony after they swarmed, and I found absolutely multiple queen cells. One frame had, um, if I remember correctly, 6 or 7 queen cells on it. We found another frame that had two real nice ones going down the right side of the frame. And there was one or two others that we did. So we went ahead and we pulled it. We had the opportunity. I could make a split. And what's amazing is the thought process behind how I made that split. And you'll see that in the video. Instead of taking and making a 5 frame split off of that, I made a 2 frame. I planned how many queen cells I put in it, but the horizontal box gives me an opportunity to make a smaller sized split. Now, I put 5 frames in the box, right? Okay, but 3 of them were just foundation. I put 2 really heavy frames of brood in all the stages. Put one of the frames had the queen cell in it. Put just 2 frames of bees in there, but they're in a box that is thermally protected because of its thickness, more R value insulation, and the fact that it was sitting right next to a 5 frame colony that we made a split on 2 weeks ago. The heat will help to regulate that. So we're still in a window. I mentioned on the thing that if weather permitted, well, the weather permitting part means that the the temperatures here are, we're on the roller coaster in North Alabama. Bruce Jen is in South Alabama, and he's having to go through what he's got to go through, but he's always usually a couple degrees warmer than me. There's a lot of times where storms come across the southeast, and they either turn left and come to me, or they turn right and go to him. It's got to be a pretty big one to get both of us, but we're kind of experiencing we may get 4, 5, 6 days worth of really great weather, and then we've got some storms rolling through tonight. Most of y'all probably have seen on the news. There's a line that's running kind of across the southeast. I've seen some reports out of West Virginia that there's a lot of damage up in West Virginia because of this. So I'm just kind of sitting back going, holy cow. But um, if y'all forgive me for just a second, please. What I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to look at my video here on the live stream where I can see your comments better, because it's not really popping up as good right there. So we'll take just a quick break here. I was starting out with, I got Grammy. Hey again, Castle Hives, you have to start the way you want it. I wished I could say, I tried starting it the way I wanted it, and the darn thing, I lost my internet. Dennis Samuels, everyone hit the thumbs up. Yes. Uh, and then Grammy, nope. Thanks, Grammy. We appreciate that. Night Ranger, Fuzzy World, Adelina. I've known Adelina for years. Known her for years, and um, we are in the Heroes to Hives program. Good for you, girl. Good. I actually I met her through Facebook. Never shook hands with her, but met her through Facebook through chicken groups. So it's just absolutely amazing how you know you keep friends through those connections. That's one good thing about Facebook and groups or the social medias, is the opportunity where we can meet people like that. Brian Castle, Thank you so much for being on here, brother. I appreciate it. You guys, most of you know that are in here that do beekeeping, you're gonna know the name Stream Team. Where we've got Brian, we've got Bruce Jenny, and then Greg Burns up at Nature's Image Farm. The three of them put on an absolutely great live stream process. And each one of them host it one day of the week. They all have their own individual channels on things that they share, but as a 3-person panel with some really great background knowledge, experience, and the diversity between Bruce being in the South Alabama area, but Brian and Greg are up north in Ohio. So it's really neat that they can share information and experience to help people kind of thought process on things that they might want to do in their bee yard. But we kind of use Bruce. I mean, yeah, Bruce. We keep up with Bruce because when it starts swarming in his backyard, then I know it's coming on mine about 2 weeks later. But then, after I kind of get through and I'm really picking up on stuff, then the guys up in the Tennessee, Virginia area, they're like, okay, if it's hitting Yappy now, what's going to be on with them pretty quick. And then, yeah, just about another couple weeks of that. And well, you've got the guys up in Ohio, Greg and Brian, where it just, man, it goes crazy. So, but they're great group of guys to get onto. So if you're new into the beekeeping thing and you have not followed or heard of the Stream Team guys yet, look them up on YouTube. You won't be disappointed. Great shows. Redfish. Oh, let's see. Wildwood. If I do not say hey to Grayson, okay, Grayson has reached out to me twice to try to get me to live stream with him, and I've not. Grayson, I'm not backing. I'm not trying to hide on you. Obviously, you can tell that my live stream issues are well, they're still there. I know what I got to do. I just got to get me a another internet box or something like that for nothing but live streams. And then, man, I'm gonna put you on a show because I had the best live stream lined up today. Redfish, I'm gonna tell you that guy right there is a loyal, awesome follower. Thank you very much for following both channels. Always comments, brother. I appreciate you. Um, Brandon. Hello, Yappy. Awesome info. Thanks for sharing. Brandon, no, thank you for jumping in, brother. Thank you for jumping in. You know how much I appreciate you. You know, so Colleen is in here in the comments. Colleen Murphy, she's from Canada. And if I'm right, Colleen, she comments on so much of my stuff. Her and Zalma. They love following my stuff. They're always great supporters. Thank you guys for doing that. And I really appreciate it. Colleen, I'm telling you, I think if I'm understanding right, she's had some type of little health issue. She's getting over, but I'm afraid when that girl gets back on her feet, I may have to go into cognito or something like that because she's coming out of Canada. And I know she's going to be down here, but thank you guys for all that. Alhambra, love you guys to death. Thank you for being in here. Now let's get back to some bee stuff. How long we've been on here? We've been on here 18 minutes, so we've got everybody that we're jumping in here, and I appreciate you guys very much more than you know. One thing we're past our first initial swarm window in my band here in the North Alabama area. My bee removal calls are coming in one after another. I've probably got 6 or 7 of them lined up. There's not really. I've got one that I went and checked on today, but with the weather, and it was an outside type removal on a split level. I chose to not do the removal because the barometric pressure changing, and that's something you guys need to be mindful of if you're a new beekeeper. When you have weather fronts coming in, it's going to change the attitude of your bees, and where you may have a great hive that you're going to get into, you may get in there and today they're going to whoop your butt because that barometric pressure is changing and they know that something's coming. Man, mine had been flying like Mad Hatters all day with gusty winds and everything else. It blew my mind, but I did get into one because we made a split off the one that I told you swarmed on me the other day. I pulled a stunt. Let me explain this one to you. You guys know what the Randy told me the little NICOT systems are, where you've got you'll you'll graft out of a cell. You put it in a little cup, and then you put it in a little holder, and you put it on the rail, and you put it in a starter, and the bees will start making your queen cells. I've not seen anybody do it, but I did this. I've got the system, and I've got probably a frame that's got 10 or 12 spots on the top, and then I got a slider I can put in there. But I had multiple queen cells in that hive, and I didn't really want to just cut them up and use them. So I went, I'm going to try something. So I literally took the sharpest fillet knife that I have, and I started cutting the little cells off. And I very gently would put them in those little Nikot holders that slide up onto the frame. Um, 3 or 4 of them that I had in that window, 4, maybe 5, were still not capped off yet. They were still open, and they were working those. But I put them up in those little Nikot holders, and I figured, okay, we'll give them a day or two to go ahead and cap them off. I had 2 that were capped that we were doing this with. I had left 2 on a frame to let them hatch out, let them do their thing, okay? And you heard someone argue about barometric pressure today? Wouldn't surprise me. But I took them and I put them in those little Nikot holders. Then I stuck them up on the frame because I just wanted to see, could I do it? I'm one where I could do just about anything I want to out there in the beehives to manipulate them. But if I screw it up, I can generally fix it. I mean, there's always a fix to something, and so I push boundaries when it comes to figuring out what to do with my bees. But um, so I knew it had been a couple of days, and we were real close to hatching out time because 2 of those cells were already capped off. 2 of the cells I left in that box were capped, and but I kind of went by the time frame of when they swarmed to when the cells should open up. Generally, about it's been said that they will swarm once they got a couple of cells capped off. Well, that's what I found, and that's what happened. But now that's usually around day 8 to 9. So we got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we got a 5-day window. Well, Friday was the day that they swarmed. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 4 days. Man, it was real tight. Okay, I was on my way home from that removal, knowing that I had forgot that I needed to deal with that one frame. I got home, and there was still 1 or 2 that they had kept working. 1 or 2 of them had fell off, or they tore them down. Something, me messing with them screwed them up. But there was the 2 that were in the hair rollers that I never closed off, and there was 1 or 2 that I needed to put on. But of the 6 or 7 that I made, they actually worked in cutting, transferring, and doing. It was just something fun to play with. People that raise queens probably do that all the time, in some form or fashion. But for me, it was just I just wanted to see it. So, but now I'm going. Hang on a minute. I need to check those cells on the frame that we had removed or that we left. I started going through the rest of the box, right? And I couldn't find this frame that had the cells on it. I mean, I went through back and forth. Randy, 628 Dirt Rooster of all people, he jumped on there. Okay, he jumps on, and he calls me, and I just put him on speaker, and I'm telling him while I'm recording this and what I'm doing, and we're laughing because I can't find 2 queen cells. I couldn't remember where they were at, and then all of a sudden I found one, and as I flip it and look at it, sure enough, it's open. They that queen emerged today. In fact, it was so fresh that the little flipper, was still on there. The little cover that where she kind of works her way around like a can opener and then comes out of it. I mean, that was even still there. The other bees weren't even touching it to tear it down yet. Um, After I looked back at the video, I realized the other cell should have been down below it. But my thought process was I wanted that first one to emerge and then go ahead and dispatch the second one. The only problem is that I had 4, 5, 6 more possible queen cells in there that she was going to go after. So I don't know if I actually, based on what I saw, I got there in time to put the hair roller things on there, cap them off, and potentially, save those from happening. But we'll see in a couple of days. They'll probably, the other ones will hatch out today. At least two of them will, and then maybe a day or two the other ones will. But we're just going to see what happened. I challenge you, um, to get to a point where you're not afraid to have one box that you try something in, weird something. There's a lot of different things that I have found in beekeeping that 100 years ago was a thought process. It was the what everybody believed to happen. I've used this example before, that the one thing that the old timers would say is that every swarm had a mated queen, and um, cast swarms weren't worth a flip. If you ever turn around and suggest to some people who have read one or two of those books that, actually I catch swarms with unmated queens, and they swear up and down that, that's a lie, that book says this, that they paid a lot of money for because it's like super thick and real old. But experience, has proven that wrong. There's a lot of different things. I freaked some people out a few years ago because I had a big huge box. I was popping queen cells one after another because there's a very good reason why a colony will after swarm. An after swarm or a cast swarm is a colony that still is so strong that they can push out some of those unmated queens and try to make more colonies. And we're now in the fall. It's probably late September, and I happened to go through a colony to find out that they had swarmed. But it was a triple deep box, and I mean, goldenrod was flowing. They weren't smart, but I go through there and I found 31 or 32 queen cells, and I just start cutting them off one at a time, one at a time. My management process is to always leave two pretty close together, let the first one come out, take care of the other one, boom, no after swarms. And um, I had I had those two that were there, and somehow or another, when I went to go put it back in, I popped one of them, and it proved the point of, why I would leave two, what the purpose in leaving two was. So it ended up, I kind of tried to fix it a little bit, but I just left it in there and let them figure it out. And I checked it a couple weeks later, had a queen, she was laying, things worked out, lucky me. But I just don't mind playing with them. As far as that, I have taken queens out of a colony and literally, that I knew that one over here didn't have one, or I've swapped them. I just heavy smoke them, take one out, drop her right into another colony, and go on about it, and never miss a lick. Would I tell you to do that? Sure, I'd tell you to do it if you can fix it when you're done and the timing's right. Because how do you know if you don't? There's all kind of neat things, and that's future stuff here. Um, we're about 28 minutes into it. I do want to ask, we check with some of you guys and say, hey, um, kind of um, what are where are you guys at? In the comments, give me some. I know there's a few of you that are kind of still up north, but how are your seasons going right now? Where are you guys at in your prep? Are you starting to see a lot of swarms in your area? If you do, say yeah, and but let me know where you're at. I'm just kind of curious to where that line is. There was a guy that posted on Facebook today about having caught, I think, his fourth swarm today, and he's up in Virginia. So that's not a surprise to me that they're actually that far up. Um, I think I've seen one or two in Ohio that may have happened. Here's what's interesting. You'll see a swarm call come in an area where it's like all of a sudden, well, there's one and it was pretty good size, whatever. Be careful, because we have reproductive swarms, and then we have overcrowding swarms. A swarm is a swarm. It's just a matter of what we call it to make us feel better. All right, swarm's a swarm, but we categorize it into a window that corresponds maybe with flow or time of the year. It helps to understand to new beekeepers, but a swarm is a swarm. An abscond is not a swarm. All right. There's a lot of times where we're in that window where it should be. Hey, I mean, I'm getting swarm calls every day. So, okay, fine. But I may pull up to that tree and there's, 5 pounds of bees hanging there. But the only reason it's there is because the tree cutter's about, 2 blocks down, went and cut a tree down. The tree fell, screwed up the hive. They went trying to find a beekeeper. The bees ended up gorging up and then, coming down 2 blocks to hang on grandma's tree. That's an abscond. But at the end of the day, when we catch them, we're going to handle them the same way, and we're going to probably call it a swarm because of the time frame. But you'll know whether or not it was actually a swarm or an abscond, possibly because if it's an abscond, they didn't really have an opportunity. They didn't want to leave. They just kind of got destroyed and evicted, and they're going to be pissy at you. They're going to eat you up when you try to be nice to them. It's like, oh hey, let's catch a swarm, and then the next thing you know, you're getting eat up. There's times where I've caught swarms that wanted to eat me up. I mean, they were just pissed, and I'm trying to figure out why are they pissed. And there was one. I mean, I drove over there, and I mean, it was a nice sized swarm, and they were just eating me up, and somebody just happened to catch something, the homeowners did, and they made the comment. They said, well, they were over across the street, but that guy went to spraying them. And I went, you're kidding me. But it made sense because they were just super defensive. So always be careful when you, no matter what, when you get around your swarms. If you kind of sit there and start to approach them and touch them, if they get real flittery and they vibrate a lot, I showed that in my mailbox video. They started fluttering like that, and that makes me think, okay, something's up. They're agitated. They're defensive. That doesn't mean they're going to be, but that is a sure sign that you might want to be a little bit more careful about what you're doing if you're not wearing a suit. So that's that. Well, I'm looking at some of the comments. Thank you guys so much for the comments. Wow, we got 50 people that jumped in here. See, notice in Springfield, Missouri, of swarms calls already. Um, we notice. I bet you that's what you meant to say. Springfield, Missouri. Oh yeah. Now I'm in the Northwest Arkansas. I'm in the Arkansas group, and it's amazing to see some different. There's a lot that are coming out in the Arkansas area. Um, Alhambra picked up a 5 pound swarm yesterday, Northeast Arkansas. So there you go. Um, Great so far. This two cuts complete. When caught my first swarm ever. Really, Dennis Barney caught his first swarm ever, dude. I know that. God, I know that made you happy. There's what is it about a swarm? Uh, I guess it's just because we're sitting there and it's like somebody hanging $100 bill on a tree. Okay, and it's like, oh, you just walk up and catch it. I mean, yeah, I can understand that. But there is just something so cool about a swarm that if anything, that's the part that I'm in love with, absolutely in love with. Because I mean, they're the most likely to be docile. Okay, you can set the box there. They're looking for the home. You gave them one, man. They're thanking you. I mean, that's we think that they put that little gland up there and they're fanning because they're wanting to tell everybody get in here. No, they're thanking you. Thank you for the home. Okay, good beekeeper. But I just, man, I love swarms. I'll be honest with you. I want to I'm thinking really honestly about I want to get a real big swarm. And you know how I am about playing with bees, but I think I want to get one that's hanging like on just one limb that I can hold right there, and I just want to sit on the ground, Indian style, and just put that thing right in front of me, and then just let them just all just crawl everywhere and just see if I can find a queen that way, just to just to be on them, or be with them. Let them just, um, I don't know. There's just something so beautiful about the mindset and the mode of the bees in that moment. Absolutely love it, and you can tell it. Anyway. I'm giving out my secrets about being in love with bees. Christine Scollier. Okay, Christine, forgive me, but Christine is here from Australia. That is so cool. Australia. See, it's morning time. I think it's probably like, depending on where she's at in Australia, it's somewhere around the 8 to 10 o'clock window because it's like 6:41 here. So it is somewhere in that probably we're just going to call it 10-ish window somewhere in Australia. So that's pretty cool. I'm getting ready to go to bed. She's just getting started on her day. Um, Outskirts of St. Louis. Zalma. Now, Zalma Flash is a long time supporter of my channel for years. She's been around, and I so much adore that. She's on the outskirts of St. Louis and got several queen cells. Today it turned out cold and rainy. Yeah, you guys see, I'm getting what you guys had, basically yesterday. I'm getting a lot of that today. Hey Cynthia, thank you. Um, yeah, Daniel. Yeah, swarms are. I mean, it's like everybody's. When I first got into it, I ended up going to I got invited by JP the B Man to go to a little gathering in Mississippi called Bud Gathering. Some of you have heard this story before, but Big Bud lived out in Farmville land. I mean, it was just nothing but fields of catfish farms, chicken farms, and crops everywhere. But he had this one little yard where he kept almost all of his bees, and when they'd have these gatherings, he would go out and he would take honey supers off. That was the extra supers from what they overwintered with, and he could take those boxes and he'd open up. He just cut the caps and whatnot, and he'd let the frame sit out there for a couple of days and let the bees rob that back. Well, what are they doing when they come back? They don't have those supers to put it in, so they start backfilling. He was artificially creating a flow, and that would create the swarming process, and he could nail it. If we were having that weekend at this point in time, he would do it roughly about 2 weeks before we would have that get together, and we'd time it great. We would catch swarms after swarms after swarms down there. It was so cool, absolutely cool. But that's where I actually caught my first swarm, and the very first one that I got into, it was huge. It was sitting low to the ground. We probably had 20 people there, but I just was all up in it. I wish on some of that stuff I had a video camera running back in that day to remember some of it. But old Bud's passed away since then, and we don't really do any of those anymore. So I miss the early days. Um, Randy Klingen Farms. Randy, don't shoot me. Dude, chance of snow on Wednesday and Thursday in north central Ohio. Holy crap, that's probably up there in Greg Burns land. Man, I hate that for you guys. I absolutely hate that. Hey, Melissa. Um, so the the weather here, like we've got the rain tonight. So far, it's doing a lot better than I expected, but it's killing me on managing these colonies because I'm I haven't done this live stream stuff. I haven't done the second channel stuff because this window kills me for being able to actually work and manage hives. I I wanted to I want honey production this year, and I'm actually probably going to have to turn down some of my removal jobs because I'm going to put more time into my bees. I'm going to tell you guys that this is embarrassing, but it's true. I have literally um, gone for 2 years and not slung a drop of honey because I haven't had time. And then I'm generally a fall honey guy. Okay, I wait until after the dearth to then sling my honey, and by the time that that dearth ends up and we've had no rain, you can ask Bruce, Jenny, that we just have not had it. Um, there's been no um, rain to create a flow for the fall weeds and the goldenrods and different things. So I haven't really had the honey to harvest because if I had, then we would have lost probably more bees than what we did. I only lost one single box of bees this past year out of 25. Um, Not a whole lot that I did. I just didn't mess with my bees a lot. There's a whole nother live chat we're gonna have. Is how in the world is it that I don't really mess with my bees, but they survive um, so well? I've got boxes sitting over there that haven't been opened, and I got one box that probably hadn't been opened in 3 years, maybe four, if you can believe that. And I've had one that was down underneath that they swarmed into last year, and they were so propolized. But you know, the propolis being such a great thing in their colonies, um, is probably what kept them going without having treatments or intervention from me. But anyway, Dennis says, "Have a great night, y'all. I got to get my daughter to bed." Dennis, thank you for being in here, brother. I hope you were still in here to hear that. But go be a good dad. You know, that's awesome, dude. Thanks for being here. I'm gonna try. We'll probably still be on here a little bit. If you get back in, make sure you say hello. Um, but let's see, Zalma Flash is my name my friends gave me, and Zelma is the town in Missouri where my farm is, not my gender. I'm a dude named Russell. That is so funny. Hey, Russell, dude, thanks for the support, bro. But God, I tell you, it's just funny. I never even thought of the gender side of it. I don't think. I don't know. And if I did say she or something like that, that was an accident. But I've never really even thought about the gender part. But yo, bro. Um, but anyway, um, Randy asked Yappy, "Are you going single brood or double brood chambers for the honey production?" Beautiful question. Singles. Now I got the horizontals right. That's a whole nother way of working a beehive. I actually took one of my horizontals, and instead of having the side entrance where as they grow you kind of expand going both directions, I um, I didn't know Ricky actually puts an entrance kind of on the front, but not in the middle, but towards an end. Grammy ended up she's got one like that, but I closed my entrance off in the middle because I've got one I'm running that way, and I drilled three holes in, and I run a short pipe in there just to keep because it's insulated. And I didn't want the insulation everywhere. Um, but I got all that fixed up and painted my own entrance. But they come and go from the end, and so I'll manage them differently, obviously. But no, I'm running singles this year. Um, I've I've never thought processed on the single versus the double brood management. Okay, it's just basically, I went on that thought process that two deeps of bees are going to make me a bunch of honey, and they're going to constantly do things, blah blah blah. Um, it it a double deep box will somewhat slow when your bees will swarm, but it doesn't. From what I understand, I don't believe that it's really going to stop them or from swarming or reduce that. It just slows it down a little bit. But now you've just got two boxes full of bees, and if you're not careful, you've got two boxes full of queen cells, and you've got two boxes left over full of bees after they swarm, and the possibility of multiple swarmings after that because of multiple unmated queens that are going to be in there. And you literally took a beautiful strong hive that swarmed itself to death, and that's that. But the concept on the single deep, instead of the double, is going to come up here very soon. I have got scheduled, and I haven't confirmed the actual date, so you guys just bear with me on this. But I will be actually live streaming with a unknown commercial beekeeper who's been in the commercial side for about 8 years now, and I can't wait to get this guy on because I want to talk commercial beekeeping with him, in the single brood management processes. And in the single brood, it's just your 10 frames, queen excluder, first honey supers for them to backfill and put up for them. Once everything's done, you pull your excluder out and they can run that. Um, but you can, you start stacking your stuff up on top of that. And the theory behind it that helps us out the most is instead of the bees putting the honey down in that bottom 10 frame, they're going to put all that up above. They're using that whole bottom 10 frame to be running their brood in. Okay, my my experience, but full understanding is you better make sure you got a top entrance running on that single brood chamber management process. So you guys have seen probably some pictures of my Hive IQ boxes. Okay, well, in the Hive IQ boxes, those are it's a thermal design box, okay, and everything fits together perfect. Well, they did not tell me that I couldn't do this and I shouldn't do this, but I have to just remember that I have to plug up this hole later. But I drilled a hole through one of my mediums, and that's going to be my top entrance. I put a dial entrance on there, of which I can close it off and I can get a little vent through it. But now that I've got a deep, an excluder, and then I could start stacking boxes on top of that. I got to give them a top entrance, but I can't do it with the Hive IQ top because it's not like the rest of them that we deal with. It's literally it's like a tongue and groove setup where the lid fits onto that Hive body. So throwing a couple dimes up under there, it opens it up way too much and exposes more than I want to. So I drilled a hole and put a top entrance in, and we are just about to kick off on the major flow to prove just kind of how that'll work out in that style hive. But just about everything I'm running this year, I'm breaking down into a single deep excluder and then running deeps or mediums on top of that. That's how I want to run those. Um, Steven says, "Why would anyone need mods? Everyone is able to mod." Oh, you go figure that out. If there's something that's in here that needs to be done, somebody throw some hay at us. You guys just make sure that. Oh, I see what we got here. All right, so let's do this right here. Um, well, that ain't gonna work. Where's? Let's see. Who can I put in here as a mod? Um, let's see, what can we do here? Yeah, it's just spammers, but problem is I don't want this. This is my world, and I don't want the crap going on in it. Um, let's see, Mac apiary bees. Mac. Um, let's see here. The only way I can do this, guys, you're gonna have to stand by with me for just a minute. Let's see. I need to sign in to my. I need to sign out of this and sign into that one. Uh, yep. I need to sign out of this. Forgive me, guys, but I'm gonna keep my stuff clean in here at the best of my abilities, and that means I gotta switch. I gotta switch accounts, and to do that, it's gonna take me just a second. Crap, I can't do it. Let me see something here. If I do this, Adelina, put user in timeout, hide user channel, add as moderator, managing moderator. All right. Adelina is, where's Grammy at? Grammy, you still in here? Grammy, add as a moderator. Handle that, Grammy. You, Adelina, yeah, I'm sorry, Winter, but I'm not, I don't know you that well, so it's is what it is. But yeah, get in there and have fun with it. Let me see that one. Grammy and Adelina, make sure you comment that you guys are still in there. Let me know. Otherwise, let's see. I go single root Mac. I added you as a standard moderator also. So there you go. Have at it, boys and girls. There's all right. Good. Grammy's got it. I think it will block it for you. I'll sick my dang pit bulls on them. I don't care. Yeah, but I think if you block the messages on there, um, if you block the messages on there, it just you won't see them. But I don't want it to everybody else to have to see it. So it's obviously working because we just dropped probably a small handful of viewers right there, and I just like I said, I don't need that headache. I'm sorry, but I respect you guys a lot more than I need to be seeing that kind of crap in here. So there's our live chat. All right, I'm back on. I'm signed in over here watching the chat through my tablet, but I'm signed into it as Yappy B Man. So if I comment on there, it's gonna be as Yappy, but I can't do the add the moderator people. So thank you, Atlanta, and thank you, Miss Grammy. Oh yeah, Lisa's definitely Lisa's family to me. She's my bud. We I actually stayed with her and her husband and her sidekick. Tell her I said that too. When we went to Nobby up in Louisville, Kentucky, and I got to hang out with them for a couple of days. And I'll tell you, Grammy's like a secret, okay, in the YouTube world. This woman she can take anything and turn it into just the most delicious, weird meal that you've ever had. Her bacon, you want now, I mean, we all understand you put your bacon in a pan, stick it in the oven, best bacon you'll ever have. But when Grammy makes bacon, it's like it's like eating candy. But anyway, she made something like cinnamon rolls or something. And then she got this weird idea where she took some cinnamon rolls and some kind of a jelly jammy fruity thing that she had with and a whole bunch of other stuff, stale cinnamon rolls by the way. And she took all that and literally made this big pan of what is it, marmalade, something like that. I mean, what was it? I don't know what she added to it, but holy crap, this is what she does. She's like, I'm bored. An hour later, she's got some kind of flipping dessert that she made out of stale cinnamon rolls of all things. So yeah, Grammy's pretty cool. Um, if you guys want to see some neat little homesteading, canning, and oddball stuff, make sure you go check out Grammy's page. Send her some love at it too, because she's got some really Satsuma marmalade. There you go, Satsuma. Um, uh, let's see, Bow Ball. Can I be mod Honey Money? No, I appreciate it, but I think I'm covered. Um, so, Grammy, take care of that for me. Um, let's see. Yep, you're only a few hours from me. Yep. So, anyway, that's about the biggest thing. I'm not jumping on first live chat from Louisiana. Hey, Dakota. Um, so, you know, there's a lot that's going to happen with the channel this year. I'm definitely going to get the internet thing fixed. Okay. So thank y'all for bearing with me on that. I mean, we're 50 viewers into this. I don't know how, I guess that's, I see 55 over on the other one. Really awesome as far as that goes. Want to definitely give a shout out to in general, some really good supporters of the channel. Number one supporter is going to be my buddy Scott Derrick from Swarm Commander, swarmcommander.com. I've used that product for years. I support it not because that he's a friend of mine. All right. First and foremost, I've never been paid a dime for it. I do it because I believe in the product, and I'll get mine from Scott because I mean we're friends, right? But I will promote that stuff all day long. I will tell you I see a slight difference in how I will apply it. I apply it on a napkin, spritz or two, put it in a baggie, stick it up on top of the frames in my beehives, and that's how I use mine. I just want to make sure that I can remove the smell if I catch a swarm. Okay, so I make it removable. One of the things that they come up with was that little hanging rubber thingy. It kind of looks like an air freshener for your car. You can take one of those, generally cut it in half, and make, you would have two, but you could use one of those. It's very easily removable. So um, as far as my swarm choice of swarm lures, it's always going to be Swarm Commander. It was probably, that was the first one I came across. I can't say it was the first one ever made, and I don't believe it was, but it's the best one. I've used a couple other ones just because they've come across my desk, and Swarm Commander works very well for me. So thank you guys, Scott and the crew from swarmcommander.com. No, not a paid advertisement for them. This is just what I've done. Horizontalbees.com. Now, I've been asked in a lot of my other videos, and I think I've got a couple questions in this channel's videos. Where did I get those long box hives? Okay, those hives are what's called a horizontal box. Okay, looks like a coffin, but no, it's a beehive. but I get mine from Ricky and Ruth Rourke over in North Carolina, horizontalbees.com. I've paid for my beehives that I've got from them. They've not given them to me. And I've so far I like I said, I have to make a few adjustments on them, my hives, because of my conditions down here as far as heat, humidity, moisture, and different things like that. So I've consulted with Ricky on how to make a few adjustments with them. And what did I say, Grammy? I did say horizontalbees.com, didn't I? Just making sure. But anyway, horizontalbees.com. Um, but Ruth and Ricky, they've got an absolutely beautiful family, and he puts his heart into each and every one of those colonies. Um, when you look at, I'm going to tell you this, and this is just a thought process for me. Is the couch still for sale? I don't know. That has nothing to do with me. I don't know about a couch. But here's the deal: the the setup has got so many advantages over a Langstroth beehive. The Langstroths we stack up. If you're somebody that has issues with your back and it's hard for you to bend over, pick up, lift the heavy, and whatever. The one thing that I like about the horizontal box is I can go to these boxes, I can open them up, and I can find maybe I've got 5 or 6 frames that I need to pull out of there and harvest some honey. Okay, where in a standard 10 frame, we have to take the whole box off, and we may have a couple of frames in there that we're not going to we wouldn't be utilizing. So we've got to do something with those frames for a couple of days. With the horizontal hive, you can literally take and put the divider board, slide it up to the last frame where it's at that you want after you pulled your frames out, stick those on a little cart, put your 5, 6 frames in there, and you can go on about to the next colony and get you 4, 5, 6 more until you can get those things all harvested out. Then you bring it back, just slide your board back. You're not lifting boxes, you're not having the extra weight. And I'm no spring chicken. I still I can still lift the boxes for now, but I'm getting used to these boxes and just standing right there at them. So really consider, if you're not anywhere near where you can get those, look them up. If you're not where they're at, then find somebody, or that you might can get some from, and tell them Yappy sent you, so that way they can call me and go, Yappy, I didn't know. I just love to know where you get them from. Um, but look into the horizontal boxes. They're thicker box. They've got a better R value, and you'll be surprised at how well your bees come out of winter. The reason I like them is because they mimic the space between the floors of a house that I remove bees from very commonly. I saw one today, and everything around that beehive when it's in grandma's floor is always 70 degrees. So if that's the case, that it's always that warm kind of being around in that area, the bees don't have to work as hard, so they're not utilizing as much of their winter stores. I'll tell you, you would think that if they were more active because it was warmer in the colony, they would eat more. Um, I'm seeing it differently. Just in my boxes, I'm seeing it differently. They don't have to use as much energy to create the heat because the heat's being held in there. So they're enjoying eating what they need to, but they're not overeating because they need to keep the energy levels up. That's just a thought process. But mine did very well coming out of winter, to the point to where they were the first ones to start making queen cells. Super strong. So consider looking into. Uh, I would highly recommend it for a brand new beekeeper. If you were going to get into something, they're pricey, but they're going to last you a lot longer than what our normal wood boxes are. And I'm talking standard. I'm talking like an Endura hive that's been wax dipped, or um, some of the better quality boxes. I'm just talking your standard Amazon kits. Something you get at Tractor Supply or whatever. That's something to get you started, but they are not going to last you. This is a box that I know will last me for many years, and it was worth the money. So there's that. Um, but we've got a couple of great spots. Hive IQ. Hive IQ has been awesome in regards to supporting Yappy Bee Man, and you're going to see a lot of their stuff coming up. I really want to talk about theirs as we get into this, and the major differences between something that is this style and construction of a hive versus the other ones. That's the joy of what we're going to be doing, is showing a lot of different things about how I do this, or this with this, or this. So it's just getting your brain into how can I manipulate something in a way that doesn't really screw me up too bad, because just about everything that I do, I can undo, I can fix, or we put it back together again. You'll see. Um, let's see. Grammy's rocking and rolling on this. Colleen, JP was coach. B's in the coach video. JP's top notch. JP the B man is freaking top notch. Absolutely think that I really he friended me and taught me everything, and JP educated me to get me where I'm at as far as how to understand how to do the beam removals, do it right, do it safe, and I'm going to give him all that credit. And then through the opportunity and experience, I took it and built it. So really super happy as far as that goes. But gang, we have just turned a whole hour as far as that goes. James Carter says my horizontal hives start brooding much earlier than my Langstroths. I don't doubt it. I believe it. I think it's just because um, they're holding those temperatures is for one reason, and they're not having to work so hard. So they're not having to work so hard to keep warm or cool or whatever. They have time to start brooding earlier because they're not clustering all the time. Um, absolutely love my horizontal hives, but now horizontal hives are that's going to keep you as a hobbyist. you know, with those style hives, you stay as a hobbyist. If you never have any desire to do anything further than that, then, get into do the horizontal bee stuff. But, you're going to get into doing some other stuff that, will, you'll have to use the other box style hives. Um, Dennis, thank you so much for the compliment, sir. I, I'm in the future, we're going to have other people in here and we're going to make some conversations. I've just been enjoying kind of sitting here watching the comments and trying to kind of, hit something every once in a while. This is not, I want you guys to understand that they're still in here with me, and thank you so much. I'm sharing these things because I want to, not because somebody gave me something and said, here, go talk nice about it. Um, the majority, almost everything that I've got in my bee yard, I either paid for or I paid something for. Okay. Um, I don't get stuff. I don't get stuff for free. What I do is I put skin in the game. I believe that if somebody's going to put a product in front of me, I say, okay, well, I'm going to pay you this for it. My Everything BVAC, love my Everything BVAC. Okay. I paid for my Colorado BVACs, and I paid a reduced price for my Everything BVAC. I got a discount because I made a large order on my Premier B frames. I've had Acorn, I've had Wax Foundation, and now I have Premier. Those are the three that I've dealt with. There's one or two other companies that are out there that make similar to Acorn, plastic frames, and one piece foundations, different things like that. Um, I didn't have the opportunity to use them. I'm not saying they're any better, any worse. At the end of the day, I could almost blanket just about everything about most of anything in a certain category and tell you, you know, they're so similar. I don't know that I could say that one is better than the other, but I can see the results with what I've got, and I'm going to share that result with what I got. Um, and my thought process as to why those things happen the way they happen. But I don't accept anything from anybody in hopes that that they hope that I'm going to promote them. I promise you, I'm more worried about my reputation with you guys than I'm worried about my reputation with them. So it's just going to be what's going to be. If I don't like something, or I don't feel that there's a fix for it, or the company doesn't support me in that, then I'm going to tell you, because I don't want you wasting your time. I don't want you wasting your money when there's so many things out there. Beekeeping's hard enough and it's expensive, and now you're going to go put that out there, okay, and buy these products, and there's somebody trying to sell you a bunch of things you don't need, or you put good money to something that ain't gonna last. No, I won't be the guy that rings that bell and say, yeah, try this out, and then 2 years later you hate me for it. So I'll tell you what I think, and, through my experience. So Dennis jumped. Mac says he's still getting used to the horizontal hives. Yeah. I mean, I've had two of them for 2 years, and I feel comfortable with them. I will say this, Mac, the air circulation in mine is, I've got two different styles that Ricky made me. The first one's got slide out screen covers on the bottom to help with air circulation. That was great during the summer all the way through till winter, but then all of a sudden that moisture problem. Dude, I've never had moisture problems. Up north, you will have, they put what they call like what are the little boxes that they put the absorbent in to catch the moisture as it comes up through, so that quilt boxes, so that the moisture doesn't fall back down on the bees. That's a whole cycle people up north got to deal with. I don't, but I had one of my boxes had a moisture issue in it that I had to deal with, and Ricky and I talked about it. So he made some suggestions, and I've had to make a few adjustments to my own hive. Works fine now. Not a single problem. Not even worried about it. But it was that early spring lot, that first bit of nectar coming in, and they just couldn't get the moisture out fast enough. So plus, off and on rain, we're under the El Nino. It just kind of went the way it did. But I love mine too. You're gonna love them. Just be ready to manage them good, because I'm telling you, brother, and things are going to build up on you, and they will get away from you quick in building up and growing faster than you know. Um, let's see what else we got. Colleen, you made, let's see, yep, you put on good Vila. Thank you, Dennis. I'm still getting used to the horror. Um, uh, Thank you, Colleen. Thank you for the support, and if you got to jump, I understand. Um, will they be random live streams or on a schedule? Hey, Dakota, thank you for asking. Mine right now are random. They're I'm not putting a schedule on anywhere near at this point in time, just because of I'm in the busiest part of my season right now. So it's not going to be something where I can say, yeah, I'm planning on doing this, or this. I will definitely announce it. I'll put a post up or something, so you guys will know. When I'm gonna throw something up, most likely. Um, do your hives produce? I don't, Ryan. That is the first time I've ever heard that word. I don't even know how to pronounce it. So you're gonna have to speak a little bit better, better yappy for me to understand what that is. Um, I have no idea what that is. Never heard of that word. I made my own BVAC. Took me 2 years to work it out, but it works great now. Cheap and simple. Okay, Dennis. Oh, cool. Um, I've I've known a lot of people who've made various styles using multiple buckets, and do this, do that. I've seen a lot of different ones. I don't have. I'm quick and simple. I mean, I've got a box. I've got a top on one of them. It's got a 20-foot hose. I plug it in. I turn it on just a little bit. I mean, it's all been done for me. That thing has paid for itself 3,000 times over what I paid for it. I mean, there's a lot of costs going on. It's hard for me, and I've told Tony this. It's hard for me to turn around and tell everybody go out and buy an everything BVAC. Okay, it's going to cost you in the hundreds of dollars for one of those things. And in that being said, um, how do you justify paying for something like that if you're not doing bee removals? Is it make it worth it to have it if you were a swarm catcher? That's even debatable. So if you're doing bee removals, you've got to turn around, and now that just adds to the cost of what it costs you to collect those bees. I've always looked at Swarm Commander. We talked about that earlier. Swarm Commander will cost you about $30 a bottle, somewhere in there. Okay, a couple bucks to ship it. But I've always asked people, how much does a package of bees cost? Of mixed bees with a queen that was hopefully, bred right. But to get a package of bees and start it out, it's going to cost you $130. But that's what they say, the bird in hand versus one in the bush. Okay. Well, you pay $130, you got bees. Well, congratulations, but they don't always stay. And the 3 pounds don't always stay. You can go out there 2 days later and you've lost a third of them because they were older foragers. Some of them, better than that. Some of them worse. I've known people that had put the queen in there, and as soon as 2 days later, they're all gone as soon as that queen come out of there. So there goes $130. But you could build a box, and then there are some good videos out there about how to plan where to put a swarm trap. Here's my thought. This is how I look at it. I don't have to put them out. I used to, and I would put them out where I would get swarm calls from. If you ever catch a swarm somewhere, ask those people if you can leave a swarm. If you can come back the next day and leave a swarm box, okay? Because if you picked up a swarm there today, and they've been hanging there for a day or two, whatever, but there's a swarm hanging in grandma's tree, then bring a second box and leave it there, and check on it somewhere about. Just leave it there for 2 weeks, because there's a high possibility that that colony that those bees came from are going to swarm again with an after swarm. And I can't tell you how many times I've put a box somewhere, and then 5-6 days later, somewhere maybe a day or two more, all right, but end up with another swarm. It's a smaller swarm, and it generally will have an unmated queen. Did it come from the original one where my first swarm came from? No, but there's a really good chance at it, because some of those bees that were taking mama and half those bees to go to live where they were going, whatever, ended up making it back. All right, they may have still traveled that same path. There may be something smells that makes them go that way. So as far as all that goes, I would, if you know somewhere where you've got a swarm there, then you mark that spot and you find somewhere as close to there as you can to keep swarm traps out there for the rest of the season. Make sure you get one out there early next year. Say, hey, do you mind if I come back next year? Knock on grandma's door. Say, hey, I'm here again. Here's a jar of honey. I'd love to put this box back up in here, because if there's a lot of times where I've seen them travel that same route. Okay, they're in that area. So you guys that have been doing this for a while, it's just a tip. Think about that. Now, David asked Yappy, how long do you think it takes to a newly mated queen to get her pipes working right and stop laying multiple eggs? 24 to 36 hours. That's everything that I've seen. Even if I don't even think it'll take 36 hours. But she gets back, she gets cleaned up, and now I can't tell you from the time she makes it back after full mating flight to where she has got everything worked up in her body. But once she starts backing in and laying those, if it shouldn't take more than 12, but I've seen it push 24. That should be your standard as far as your time frame, in my opinion. If 36 is pushing it, but 12 to 24 for sure. What does ligma mean? Don't fall for it. Ligma is made up a disease and internet hoax claimed to have had killed popular Fortnite video game streamer Ninja. No way, Ninja's dead? You are kidding me. They killed oh my. See, this is the thing. This is why I love these little gamer kids that come in here, because I respect them, because they're in the know, all right, for the things that we don't understand. We're dealing with bees that could kill us. No, they're dealing with real life situations where there's multiple others. Somebody's trying to call me. Where there's multiple people all over the world hiding behind the mask of a cartoon character, okay, that are trying to kill them and ruin their game. They seriously know. They know pain and suffering, unlike us. And so there you go. Hey, Grammy, if you're still in there, it'd be great to see Bubba take a ride. Yeah, in fact, if you figure out how to block him. So, other than that, gang, it's been an hour and 13 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and jump and tell you thank you very much. I need to take a breath, if that's even possible. So great. Okay. Yeah, I seen you caught that, Grammy. Thank you very much. And Adelina, thank you very much. I hate that we're trying to build the good. This is the only thing about the live streams that I was really not looking forward to. And Mac, thanks for jumping in here. Yeah, I'm going to be jumping out of here soon. Thank you for being here, Mac, and hanging in there. But I will have this thing. That I had to go and jump into here on this because the internet thing didn't work. So if you guys came in late, we started a live stream somewhere else, and then it didn't work out. So I just went ahead and put the phone up. So here it is. This is what I'm going to do because you guys deserve it. The folks that jumped in here and subscribed coming off my videos and everything else to get me to where we blew 1,000 subs out of the water, and I can't believe that. But I wanted to get in here just to spend some time with you guys, and I wanted to definitely make it family friendly. Unfortunately, it comes out to where you get a few gibberheads that get in here on that. Dennis, thank you also. I appreciate you. Peter, thank you. Russell, I appreciate it. We're going to be doing these grubbing, grub them. Okay, great live stream. Thanks. No, thank you for jumping in. I tell you, uh, I'm honored, and it's this is the new adventure, and I hope to make it worth your guys' time. I'm not going to try to take away from anybody else that has been in here that talks really great information. I'm not bringing anything new in regards to management. I'm just going to make you. I want to bring thought processes in, um, and maybe give just a little bit more to build on what everybody else has got you to. People that are there's a lot of people way smarter than me when it comes to beekeeping. Randy McCaffrey will respect this. There ain't nobody better at doing bee removals than me. There ain't nobody better than finding queens. And Mr. Ed could pretend like that, but when it comes to it, I am B. Okay, that's my T-shirt. I am B, not maybe. I am B. But at the end of the day, I say that humbly. I'm very blessed. I'm fortunate, and I have fun at it. And when the fun goes away, then you'll never see Yappy again. But until then, um, I just want to have an opportunity to interact with you guys. So thank you. There's my big hug to everybody else on there. But we're gonna go ahead. I'm jumping off of here. We've got it down to 37, still hanging in there. That was a lot of fun. I will do better next time. But guys, thank you. As that thumbs up stuff and everything else. But we're the next goal we're shooting for is the 3,000, pushing the 4,000 hour thing. So um, we've got videos coming out soon on both channels, and I can't wait at all. Thank you all for being in here, and until then, this ain't my house, Lloyd. This ain't my house. This is my camper. This is what I travel around doing production stuff in. But anyway, until the next time, love you all. Thank you very much. And I'm gone. We'll see ya.